want to welcome you all to The Gateway.
The Gateway is a video podcast directed and hosted by the staff members of Somerset Community College's student newspaper, The Bridge.
This is The Gateway.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first spring 2023 episode of The Gateway. I'm Connor Williams, and I'm with Danielle Roy, and we are with the College Navigators. Specifically, right now, we are with Natalie Winstead, the College Navigator Coordinator, and Bryan Whitson, a para-mentor. How are you guys?
Great. Thank you all for having us on the Gateway. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, it's good to be here.
Yep. So, you want to go into what we know so far going into it?
Yeah, so really, I have an extremely vague understanding of what the College Navigators do. But to my understanding, you guys basically support students and help guide them towards success.
That's exactly right.
Okay. So we're pretty much just going to expand on that. My personal question, though, is which type of students are you guys geared most towards? Like new students or returning students or just everybody?
Pretty much everybody. Everybody who could use a little extra support. So we work a lot with new students because they have a lot to learn as they get comfortable at SCC. They might need some help getting to know people, getting to know how to get involved as a student. We also love working with students who are post-traditional students. They feel like they are older than the rest of their students, but in reality, they're not. They're in the perfect place, and they're some of our favorite students to work with. And then we also work with students who were at SCC and had a difficult time, maybe had some things in life that got in the way and had to get out of school for a while, and are coming back and want to look at how they can do things a little bit differently this time and have a really good experience.
Right.
Awesome. Well, circling back around to the non-traditional students, what is some of your all's biggest advice or things you all give those students?
Just letting them know that they're a really valuable part of our student body. They have some experiences that they can share with younger students, and then also younger students can help support them. So that is really a really special part of having non-traditional students as part of our student body.
For sure, for sure.
For me, I would say one of the most important things is there are no dumb questions, which seems a little cliche, but I think I've heard every single question come out of a non-traditional student, and it helped them to learn every single question that they asked.
Of course. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, do not be afraid to ask a question you think is not necessarily the most informed.
Right.
Because we will guide you to what we think is most certainly the best path for you.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I consider myself to be a non-traditional student. This is my third time enrolled at SCC, and I'm turning 30 next month, and sometimes it's weird to come to class and you're in a class with people that are fresh out of high school or maybe just a couple of years out of high school. But each time I end up befriending someone or really enjoying being around the younger students, and sometimes I like to think that I can bestow a little bit of wisdom on them. So, I mean, I totally agree with what you've said. That's awesome. What would you say to encourage our students to utilize the resource of the College Navigators?
So that's a really good question, because a lot of students have really not a great understanding of what College Navigators can do for them, or they don't know about us at all. So some of the key things that we can do is we can work with a student on an individual basis to help them make a success plan. We want to know what's your goal for your time here at SCC.
Yeah. And
then how can we break that down into small steps to help it be less overwhelming.
Right.
And then as you go through those steps, we want to be able to connect you with people here at SCC and then also in the community who have all these awesome resources for you. So whether it's just some tips on studying, or whether it's like, hey, I no longer have a place to live, can you connect me to people in the community who can help me with housing?
Yeah.
For sure.
We can't solve everything, and we can't solve everything overnight, but we know people who can help.
So sort of like college life coaching in a way.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
a little bit of networking help as
Yes.
well. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. It's really cool hearing a program that is genuinely focused on the students. It's always good to hear about anything like that.
And seemingly pretty judge-free.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go ahead and talk to another college navigator and to help us answer this next question. And voila, we have someone else here. We have Miss Sherry Loveless, a navigator. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So our question for you two now is, can you share some of the success stories you all have had the opportunity to witness and help people through?
Awesome. You want me to start, Sherry?
Yes.
Okay. So we got to work with a really awesome student a few semesters ago who was coming back from being academically suspended. So they had a rough time while they were here the first time. But when they came back, they got to work with Sherry, and she connected them to different people, and they were able to launch into their dream career. And had a wonderful semester at SEC, and that we're really excited to see that.
Yes. And those stories always make me, it just makes it even more worthwhile.
Yeah, for sure.
And there are so many students that we work with that I really just feel like I can't even think of how often students will say, you know, like in a class, I had someone come and tell me that they worked with a college navigator. It wasn't me. And that they really encouraged them and they supported them and they made them feel like they were not alone and that they, you know, could go to somebody and ask them questions. So I think that that's probably, you know, one of the more common.
Right. Well, anytime you go through a struggle like academic suspension or whatever, you always feel like, oh no, my career's over. But it's not, and there's awesome people like you guys to help keep them on the track of finding where they want to be in life, and that's awesome.
Sometimes it can even feel shameful to return after that. So to have a support system available here that's super important, I think.
Yes.
So, well, the next question that I had, you guys have pretty much answered it, but outside of individual success stories, we'll put it that way, can you think of any tangible evidence impact on campus that you notice just day to day that the college navigators have caused, essentially?
Okay, I like this question because it's kind of like a data question, and data
Yeah,
is one
yeah.
of my things. So, students who received support from college navigators were about 10% more likely to be able to successfully finish the semester and move on to the next semester. So that's pretty exciting. And then multiple instructors have told us that they had a student who was struggling in their class, and that student, they referred them to college navigators, and then after working with either Sherry or our Laurel college navigators or our Center college navigator, they boosted their grade, like their total grade for the class, by 1 whole grade.
That is
Wow,
awesome.
that's insane.
Yeah,
So we're
it's really
seeing like
exciting.
increases in GPAs with, well, like your specific success story that you were talking about. You all sort of helped launch somebody into their dream career after you said that they had quit and came back.
Yeah, they were academically
They were
suspended,
academically suspended.
and then they got approved to come
So,
back.
do you think that students who utilize this resource even have a higher chance of becoming employed after college?
I think so, because part of what we do is that social capital, like getting to know different people on campus and in the community that can help you, and that makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, now we're getting into a fun question, all right? Not everyone's as joyous as we are when you work with them. So what are some of your all's methods of staying positive and remembering the end goal, even when you're not always dealing with the nicest people?
Honestly, I don't feel like I have had people that were
That's awesome.
like really negative, because I feel like when people come to talk to us, either they have chosen to reach out and ask for help, or their instructor or their navigator or their advisor has, you know, referred them to come talk to us. So they generally are looking for help and,
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
asking, for resources. But even if somebody is maybe not the most excited to be
Right.
be meeting with us or anything like that, we really want to know, like what their struggles are, and so just asking them to let us know.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, that's good that y'all haven't had too many negative experiences. And to jump to another more serious question, how do you, as college navigators, help online students?
So we really love online students too. A lot of our team are SEC alum, which is kind of exciting. And personally, I've taken a lot of online classes through SEC and through other colleges. And so online students are pretty near and dear to my heart.
For sure.
So we are able to do our success coaching completely virtually. We meet with students through Microsoft Teams. We have information available on our website where they can access resources themselves. Any student could go to our webpage and look at some different resources for non-academic needs and get those without even having to ask us if they don't feel like asking about it.
Right.
So we also have a lot of helpful guides online for online students, and we have some events that are specifically for online students.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Being a solely an online student, it can be extremely isolating.
Absolutely.
You don't really feel like you're getting to have the college experience. Sometimes it's a lot easier to kind of just throw in the towel and quit because you're not in person with people who you can't see and hear them holding you accountable. And it just sounds like that's another way for people in that situation to have a really good support system.
For sure. It has been really awesome getting to talk to you guys about this. Again, you guys have been great. Thank you for answering all of our fun little questions, or at least informative questions. Again, this is the Gateway Podcast. I'm Connor. That was Danielle. We had Natalie and Sherry, and earlier we had Bryan. And just thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah.
For more information on SCC's student newspaper, The Bridge, or the Gateway Video Podcast, email us at scchethebridge@yahoo.com or contact one of the course advisors.
This is the Gateway signing out.